Hello. Today we're going to be talking about dating in the Borough of Havering. The Borough of Havering encompasses areas such as Cranham, Hornchurch, Romford, Elm Park, Gidea Park, Upminster, Wood, Rainham. What is dating like in the Borough of Havering? Just as Enfield is the most northerly of boroughs and Hillingdon is the most westernly of boroughs, so Havering is the most eastern of boroughs in London. So easterly, in fact, that it is borderline Essex, and dare I say, some people who live in Havering consider themselves as living in Essex. Some people would argue that places in the Borough of Havering, such as Romford and Rainham, is actually Essex, or at least the very beginnings of it. In terms of population, according to the 2021 census count, 262,052 people live in the Borough of Havering, making it the 65th highest out of all 314 districts across England. And get this, Havering, unlike Barnet, has the lowest population density of any of the London boroughs. Why? Because Havering is full of greenery. And unlike swathes of the crummiest parts of South London, I'm talking about the back streets of Kennington, the back streets of Brixton, parts of Elephant and Castle, Havering has one of the lowest crime rates throughout all of London. You will also not see much of the multi-ethnic diversity in the Borough of Havering that you would, for example, see in the boroughs of Redbridge or Newham, in Tower Hamlets, in Barking and Dagenham, and even Enfield, all boroughs to the west of Havering, and all boroughs which are, aside from Enfield, really known for their multiculturalism. In fact, the census taken in 2011 put white ethnic people in Havering at a whopping 87.7%. It has since gone down to 75.3%, of which 66.5% are white British. Being one of the least ethnically diverse boroughs makes things easier if you are a white man looking to date in the Borough of Havering. But, of course, that makes it harder if you're an ethnic minority man looking to date in the Borough of Havering. Because for you other races of men in Havering, 10.8% of people in Havering are Asian/British Asian, whilst 8.2% of people in Havering are Black Africans/Black Brits. And you will find it a lot harder and a lot more difficult dating in a borough which is predominantly white. 87.7% according to a 2011 poll. That's something to know about dating in Havering. It's actually one of the whitest boroughs, and it rivals that of Bexley. All parts of Havering, I know personally, have excellent transport links. The A12 passes through there, the District Line passes through there, the London Underground District Line, the C2C National Rail train passes through there. The M25 junction 28, if I'm not mistaken, passes through there. Axiomatic that Havering has good transport links by rail or road, both into and out of central London, as well as into and out of Essex. Romford is perhaps the best known part of Havering and is the de facto commercial hub of the borough, at least in terms of going out. It has a thriving nightlife, and fecund as it is with bars and nightclubs, Romford is to the borough of Havering what Las Vegas is to the state of Nevada, to try and pinpoint some comparisons. There's entertainment, there's fun which can be had, bright lights, and pure Western hedonism. Although many people who live in Romford or in and around it recently told me that Romford is not as fun as it used to be. Women here are very, very free-spirited. They drink, they giggle, they drive, they walk in short dresses freely, and are very receptive to male attention. Not a bad thing. As I said, it's the Las Vegas of Nevada. it's a Romford is to Havering what Las Vegas is to Nevada. Thus, if you are looking for a long-term woman, your goals might be a bit more unrealistic. It's quite unlike a woman living in, for example, a more homely borough, such as the borough of Hillingdon, or the borough of Merton or Kingston, Surrey, London, as I call it. Quite unlike a woman living in the borough of Westminster, who will look down upon you, or a lady in, say, Barnet, who is much more reserved and into quiet promenades. This difference is evidenced in the show Towie, The Only Way is Essex, which incidentally is based in Romford, which erroneously types Essex girls as Towie-like, with a stereotypical view and image the media has perpetrated on them, and they've lived up to a degree. Some of it is true, some of it is not, but there are aspects of it which are true, like every stereotype. Those are the type of women that you see in the borough of Havering, namely in Romford. And remember, Romford is only one part of Havering. If you are a Chad in Havering, you will be swimming in, let's just say, the private parts of women. There will not be a dearth of options for a single, above average man, a Chad in the borough of Havering. In relation to white women, your chances are heightened exponentially. Your chances of finding a mate, a girlfriend of some capacity in the borough of Havering as a Chad or as a white man are much higher than the average boroughs. And you need not even take her to Langton's Gardens House or the Brookside Theatre. You need not even take her for coffee in Liberty Shopping Centre. If you are looking for romance, you need not go the extra mile. There's a great reciprocity from the women in Havering to the men in Havering. As said, women here in Havering are very, very receptive, although they do have a certain look. Not all, but a certain look. It's enough to be noticeable. So don't be shocked if you see pouts or cosmetics or beach blonde hair or plenty of makeup or Louis Vuitton bags. Yeah, it is generic, but that is the style over there in Havering. That is the style over there in Romford. For the men, it's polo shirts and boat shoes and Ralph Lauren Oxford cotton buttoned t-shirts. Oops. And also, it is sunglasses, big sunglasses like these ones. Chino trousers, chino jeans. It works. Amidst all of the hullabaloo when the night is said and done, there's usually always one man with one woman. An ethnic minority person will struggle in amongst this. See it. I saw it and I see it in my friend Calvinda Singh, who, despite being on a dating app for what seems like years now, and is doing very well for himself financially, and is also a no homo good looking man, the best that he could do whilst in Havering was a overly fat white girl who swallowed an abortion pill in his face. His face. Why? Because if you're an ethnic minority man dating in Havering, you're going to struggle to puncture the dominance white men have there. There's no reason for a white girl to leave her race in Havering when men of her kind have everything she needs. They are, admittedly, cheerful and open, much like Americans, although they are mostly average and slightly above average. Their very Essex generic style will probably not be to everyone's taste, although once you strip it away and you get them within their bubble, a crucial point, step outside of Romford and Harold Wood, step outside of the town centre, you then see other women who are refined and very, very caring and have a vision for long-termism, much like what you'd see in Surrey, London, as we call it, Kingston, Richmond upon Thames. So don't just paint them with one brush as low quality. Family life is important in the Borough of Havering. You see it with the big houses, the 4-bedroom houses, the 3-bedroom houses, the 5-bedroom houses, just off the motorway as well. The 2017 study by Trust 4 and the New Policy Institute found that 52% of adults in Havering lack level 3 qualification A-levels, which is actually the worst in London. I would go so I say, when you speak to some of the girls in Havering, you can probably understand why. They're not the most clued up, most educated. But the key crucial point here is that men don't pursue women based on their brains. Men pursue women based on their fertility, their youth, and their looks. So you won't get a mini Marie Curie or mini Einstein. But that hasn't stopped Havering from being one of the boroughs in London where dating and family has created wealth for generations onwards. A little bit like Waltham Forest. People settle with like for like, with a view to long-termism, and it works. It works. And the values held from places like Cranham seeps through, creating familiar wealth for generations to come. A bit like Bexley. If you want to date in Havering, think long term. If you want short term hookups, that's possible, especially if you're a Chad or you're white. But more importantly, you know that if it does fail dating wise, there's always something to sit and fall back on. The average look for the average score that I'd give to a girl in Havering, in the Borough of Havering, is a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Boom.